everybody, this is Judy at Judi in the Kitchen. Today we're talking cauliflower 101, the basics. Now, as usual, I have some notes in front of me, and a lot of them today. There's a lot to be said about cauliflower, but you don't need to worry about taking notes yourself because I have a link below in the description box where you can go straight to these notes and print them out yourself and have them for your own personal use in whatever way you need them. About cauliflower. Cauliflower is a member of the cruciferous family that we've been talking so much about. So it's cousins with broccoli and kale and cabbage and Brussels sprouts and other vegetables along those lines. And there are a lot of different types of cauliflower. A lot of them we don't see here in the United States or don't see very often. They even have different colors. There's an orange and a green and a purple type of cauliflower as well. We're used to seeing the creamy white colored cauliflower with a tight globe round head, and that tightly packed head is often called a curd of cauliflower, but it's actually undeveloped flower buds. The same thing that you'll see on broccoli, okay? The same type of thing that would be cauliflower florets, and same thing as broccoli florets. The history of cauliflower dates back about 2,000 years, and it appears to have originated in what is modern-day Turkey, in that area. And a lot of cultures around the world do utilize cauliflower, but they prefer varieties with a loose curd or a loose type of head versus our tightly packed head that we commonly see here in the United States. Cauliflower is actually more popular in other parts of the world than it is in the United States, with China producing about 74% of the world's cauliflower. However, popularity does appear to be increasing here in the United States with the low-carb movement that we've got going on, and people are finding very ingenious ways to fix cauliflower to replace grains in their diet. So I find that to be very interesting. Nutrition tidbits. Like other vegetables in the cruciferous family, cauliflower is very, very low in calories, and it's high in some specific nutrients. 1 cup of raw cauliflower has only 25 calories. That's almost nothing. Very, very little. It has 3 grams of fiber, 77% of the RDI for vitamin C, which is pretty notable, and 20% of the RDI for vitamin K. And it also has notable amounts of some B vitamins and also potassium, manganese, magnesium, and phosphorus. So even though it is a white food, white colored food, it does have some notable nutrients to speak of and very low in calories. Now, like other members of the cruciferous family, cauliflower is also high in antioxidants that help to protect our immunity, reduce inflammation, and helps to protect us against cancer and heart disease. So it's one of those plant foods, along with broccoli, that contains choline, and that's also a compound that helps to protect our nervous system and can help to ward off dementia and Alzheimer's. So cauliflower is a good one to include in your meals if you can, whenever you can. And now you can learn more about the wonders of cauliflower by checking out Dr. Michael Greger's website at nutritionfacts.org, and I have a link in the notes specifically to his page where he has videos where he talks about cauliflower. So if you're interested in more information, there you go. How to choose cauliflower. Look for cauliflower that looks clean and firm and compact with a head that is creamy white in color, no brown spots or dark brown speckles in there. And those that have more leaves will usually be fresher than those that have less leaves. Leaves do help to protect that cauliflower even after it's been cut. Okay? How to store your cauliflower. I would just store it in the refrigerator in the original plastic bag that it comes in. If it does not come in a plastic bag, put it in a plastic bag, stick it in the refrigerator. That will help to preserve the moisture in there. But do store it upright with the curd or the florets at the top. Otherwise, moisture is going to tend to pull down at the bottom, and if you store it like this, then those florets are going to sit in that moisture and it will cause them to age. How to preserve your cauliflower. Fresh cauliflower can be frozen, fermented, pickled, and even dehydrated. I have instructions in the notes here on how to freeze your cauliflower, and there are instructions as well on fermenting cauliflower, and I will be doing a video. I ferment cauliflower on a regular basis, and it's really very easy the way I do it, so I'm going to show you in a separate video how to do that. You can also pickle cauliflower, and hey, that would be great in salads and used as an accompaniment to flavor a variety of foods. And I do have a nice link with freshpreserving.com on how to pickle cauliflower. Now, regarding dehydrated cauliflower, there's some mixed information out there on the internet about dehydrating cauliflower. If you're going to do that, follow the instructions that came with your dehydrator. Fresh versus frozen cauliflower is available in most grocery stores in the United States. Even in my little grocery store here in the small town that I live in, you can find this cauliflower. That's where I actually bought that one. And it is usually found both fresh and frozen. Obviously, the fresh is going to be more versatile because you can cook with it any way you want, and you can also use it raw, and you can also pickle it or ferment it or do other things that you want to do with it. Frozen is limited in the sense that you can only cook with it. Now, frozen, there's nothing wrong with frozen cauliflower. It's a great convenience food. But if you want to do something other than cooking it in whatever way, then you need to opt for the fresh variety. How to prepare your cauliflower. The easiest way is to break it up into your desired size pieces first and then wash it. It's a very tight, compact head, hard to wash. Now, if you buy this at the grocery store, chances are it will not have live insects in it. If you buy it from the farmer's market, or if you pick it from your garden, there is the possibility of some critters lurking in there. So you want to remove them, and the thing to do with two ways. You could soak it whole in a saltwater solution or a vinegar or a lemon juice water solution, and soak it for about 15 minutes, and that will help to loosen up any dirt and also kill any insects that might be living in there and help to flush them out. Obviously, you want to rinse it really well in some fresh water if you do that. Otherwise, cut it up first, put it in a bowl of fresh water, and let it sit for just a little bit, and that will help to loosen up any dirt that's in there or any other insects or whatever you might find in there. I want to make note that most people just eat the florets off of the cauliflower. However, the leaves that you see on the bottom here and the central stem are also edible. Did you know that? The leaves are edible. Now, what a lot of people will do is save the leaves and save the stems for when they're making soup or stock of some sort, and then just throw it in there. I have a specific use that I use for the leaves when I'm fermenting cauliflower, and I'll show you that in another video. So do remember that if you get a little bit of the leaves in your dish, it's not something to worry about. They're very edible. Okay? How is cauliflower usually eaten? Raw or cooked? In the United States, I get the impression that we cook cauliflower in some way far more than we eat it raw. Eat it raw, it's usually in a salad of some sort, or used as something to dip with and eat it that way. But I think far more will cook it in some way. Cooking and serving methods like broccoli, cauliflower does contain some sulfur compounds that can be released when it is overcooked, particularly overcooked in water. If you grew up being served cauliflower like that, where it was made the house really stink and it tasted very sulfury and you just didn't like it, you need to give it a second chance because it was just simply overcooked. Just like broccoli, when you overcook cauliflower, it will release those sulfury type of compounds. And so if you opt to boil it, don't boil it for very long. And optimally, you want to use as little water as possible and cook it for the least amount of time as possible if you are using water. Cauliflower can be boiled, steamed, roasted in bite-sized pieces, or even steaks where you slice the entire head down. You can saute it, stir-fry it, you can make it into soups and crumble it into rice, mash it like potatoes, braise it, add it to stews, and you can batter and fry it. You can add it to casseroles. You can even bake it into mock bagels and breads and muffins. And then, of course, you can serve it raw in salads. Now, I have some interesting things at this point in the notes with some cauliflower serving ideas. I'm not going to go all into that in the interest of time, but it came from Produce Made Simple, a website out of Canada. And I think they have some wonderful ideas here. 6, 7, there's about 8 of them here in my notes. So I'll save that for you to go find in the notes yourself. It's some great ways to serve cauliflower. Herbs and spices that go well with cauliflower? Well, it's a very neutral type of flavor unless you overcook it and then you make it sulfury. But in its best form, where it's not overcooked, basil, bay leaf, cardamom, chervil, chives, cilantro, cinnamon, coriander, cumin, dill, garam masala, ginger, marjoram, mint, mustard, nutmeg, oregano, paprika, parsley, saffron, tarragon, thyme, and turmeric. And I've seen a lot of recipes lately with turmeric added to cauliflower. That's something that turmeric is something we're discovering is very, very helpful for us. And you combine it with the cruciferous vegetables. That's a double whammy there. Foods that go well with cauliflower, again, it's a very neutral type of flavor, so it goes with a whole host of different type of foods. I've got a list here. It's not all inclusive. It can't possibly be, because it's only really limited to your imagination. But I'll read it what I've got. Apples, asparagus, bell pepper, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrots, celery, citrus, corn, garlic, lemon and lime, kale, mango. That sounds interesting. Mushrooms, olives, onions, peas, potatoes, pumpkin and cauliflower. That's interesting. Sweet potatoes, spinach, squash, and tomatoes. Regarding dairy, a variety of milk products, including assorted cheeses, brown butter, and yogurt as well, and milk products of all sorts. Otherwise, we've got beef and anchovies, pork, tofu, chickpeas, grains, pine nuts, walnut seeds, rice, almonds, tahini, and even wine. Imagine that. So you can pair up cauliflower with a whole host of things, just a matter of what you want to pair it with. Below that in the notes, I've got recipe links, and quite a few of them here, and some of them are to specific recipes and some of them are to clusters of recipes. One is 5 ways to eat cauliflower with thekitchen.com. Our 41 best cauliflower recipes at epicurious.com. This is interesting. Crispy sea salt and vinegar cauliflower popcorn. I think that sounds fun. 30 life-changing cauliflower recipes for every comfort food craving. That ought to do it. And 13 healthy cauliflower recipes. Sounds really good. And below that are resources. So there are a lot of notes here for your benefit as well. If you have any questions or comments, let me know below and I'll be glad to address them if I possibly can. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Have a great day.